Have you ever had an argument over email that just seemed to get worse and worse? Well, how did that work out for you? You may have decided to choose a different channel of communication to resolve that problem. In this video, we're going to talk about communication channels and why the channel of your choice really matters. So let's get into the details. Hello there and welcome back, friends. And if this is the first time we're meeting, I'm Alex Lyon, and this channel, Communication Coach, is here for your professional development as an emerging leader, as someone who's trying to bring out the best and the most excellence for all the people that you are working with. And today we're talking about communication channels and how that can affect the kinds of messages you're choosing to express and through what channels. So let's define this really quickly. Communication channel is the pathway through which you are communicating. The conduit the message is traveling through from point A to point B. And the choice of channel matters. They're not all made equal, and you can't accomplish all the same kinds of things through any communication channel. So let's start with the standard. I am going to go on the record and say that face-to-face communication is and always will be the standard against that every other communication channel is judged against, because it's going to be with us. It's never going away. It's been with us throughout history, and here's why. It involves not just visual communication, not just this auditory sound of our voice, not just the kinesthetic touch part of it, but it also has this immediacy where you see the other person as a whole person. They are right in front of you, a live, in-person human being, and there's a ton of sensory information that helps us read into little behaviors and figure out where the other person's coming from and read the atmosphere in that conversation. And that's why face-to-face communication, and you know what, it could be one-on-one, group, even a presentation. That's why it's considered the standard. And it's great for teaching and learning, for problem solving and collaborating. It's good for all those kinds of sophisticated and complicated interactions. It's wonderful for that. It's not good at everything, though, as you'll see in a moment. Now, the next level is video. Now, video has almost all the features of live face-to-face communication, but it has a few differences. First of all, it could be live. It also could be recorded. And of course, you can't reach out and touch people, but most of the other aspects of face-to-face communication are preserved through video. For example, you could be video chatting with someone live in real time, and that can feel very personal. That's why video is awesome for teaching and learning things. Anytime I want to learn how to fix something around the house, I go onto YouTube, I watch a couple of videos on plumbing or whatever it is, and then I can go do it. It'd be very hard, for example, for me to learn anything about plumbing just by reading a book, just by reading text. Very hard. But because of the visual nature of video, it's very powerful. And the next level is the voice, any kind of audio-only communication channel. So that could be a voicemail, it could be a podcast, for example, or it could be a phone call, a live phone call. Now, you still have many of the humanizing elements of in-person and face-to-face and video, but you lose some. So you still have the warmth of the person's voice, you still have the timing of the conversation, and you can still communicate a lot of emotion just by hearing the voice. That's why when you really want to connect with someone, you don't just text them, you call them. It's a more personal interaction. And it's also a little bit more of a demanding interaction. It takes a little more time to have a good conversation than it does to send a simple text. Now, the next level down is social media, and I'm not going to argue too much about why I'm placing it here, but social media is good in a lot of ways because it can be multimedia, right? It could be images or video or text. But this is really good in a way because it helps you connect with a group of like-minded people. It's a social network. It's great for networking and connecting with people possibly around the world that you never would have met before. Now, the conversations are only going to get so personal and connected because if you're in real trouble, they can't come over to your house. It's not that deep of a connection in a way, but it can be very personal and satisfying. But social media and any kind of networked communication is great for developing what you might call a online community. And I'll put that in quotations because it's a community, but it's online. It's not like a community in your neighborhood, but it's really powerful for meeting people that you would never otherwise meet who have the same interests, the same passion, the same beliefs, and it can be very satisfying in that way. And then the last level we'll talk about is text-based communication. This can be an actual text you're sending on your phone. It can be an email. I suppose it could be a telegraph if anybody uses those anymore. But this is one of the channels of communication that is overused if you think about it. Have you ever really needed to talk to someone face to face, but instead you just sent a text and then it went sideways, it went all wrong? Or you have this argument over email I was talking about. Someone I know and who's a mentor to me, I was about to have a little conflict over email with them, and instead of letting it escalate, he just says, it sounds like we should talk in person. And then we skipped all the email arguing and just talked in person, and it was worked out within a couple of minutes, because face-to-face is humanizing, but text-based communication only, that channel is dehumanizing. You don't have to look them in the eye. You don't have to hear the sound of their voice. You're not looking at images of them with their family. It can be dehumanizing. So text-based communication is not typically the best choice. Now, how does this matter for us? Well, if we are in the professional world, if we are leaders or emerging leaders, we have to be deliberate about choosing the best communication channel for the job we're trying to accomplish. If you need to work something out relationally, you really need to get face-to-face. But if you just need to transmit data, to remind somebody of something, to send them a date, to give them some kind of file, then of course you can use email, text, or some kind of other text-based communication, possibly even social media. But if you really want to move forward and collaborate and deepen relationships, you have to start moving toward face-to-face communication for that most important step. So I want to invite you to download a free resource that I've created. One of the topics that we often hit on this channel is presentation skills, a really important communication skill. And I created a downloadable PDF with 7 tips to help make you a more confident and composed presenter. So what you do is you click on the link that's in the description below, and I'll also pin it as the first comment below the video. You enter your email, and then I send you this PDF downloadable quick guide on email. These are the kinds of things that most presenters struggle with, but with this guide, it'll help move you in that direction of confident and composed presenting right away. So thanks for tuning in. I look forward to see you in the next video. God bless.